All right, let's do this. Congratulations, you did it! You joined the brave and courageous group of individuals who've decided to start their own business. So now it's time to get yourself some clients. So where do you start? Right here. I'm Dahna Weber, founder of Mink, Motherhood Incorporated. We're a team of over 200 moms who consider your business our babies. We help entrepreneurs and small businesses get it done. And you may ask, what is it? It is your website and everything that goes with it. From your domain, which is your business name, your hosting, your logo, your tagline, your content, which is comprised of any words, text, MP3s, podcasts, MP4s, all of that jazz. We work with many coaches, social workers, foodies, stylists, interior designers, personal stylists, hairstylists, distributors, manufacturers, retailers, you name it. So before we get started, you might be asking yourself, do I really need a website? And the answer to that question is absolutely. You absolutely need a website. And there are 10 top reasons I'm going to race through right now to tell you why you do need a website. Number one, 100% client accessibility. So have you ever taken your cell phone to the loo, to the washroom, to the restroom? I'm speaking to the SOS global community. We all have so many different names for restroom. So have you ever taken your phone and checked your text messages or your emails? Come on, come on, come on. Most of us have. In fact, 19% of people have actually dropped their phone into the toilet. Anyhow. So people are actually using their phone everywhere. They're accessing the internet everywhere, from the beach, the boardroom, even the bathroom. And they're accessing it on any device. They're accessing it accessing from phones, from tablets, from laptops, from desktops. So when people are looking for your business, your product, your service, if you don't have a website, people can't find you. Reason number two, 24/7 global reach. So you go to sleep at night, but your website doesn't. We live on a planet with 24 different time zones, and it's not possible to keep up with that. You want to have a place where people, if 5 hours ahead or 10 hours behind you, can see what you're offering. People are looking all over the world, all around the clock. Why would you want to miss out on those people? Number three, you need new clients. You don't know when people are visiting you. You don't know when people are interested in the service or product you have to offer. And you need a place, let's say you go to a meeting, you need a place where people can check you out afterwards and try to get in touch with you and see what you're really all about. A website is a perfect place for that. Reason number four, just Google it. What do you do today when you're looking for some information? Where do people go? You know, our first impulse today is to look online. It used to be check the phone book, it used to be call your mother, maybe some of you still do that, but for most of us, we look online first. Reason number five, you want to share your ideas, right? You want to be an influencer. So how you can do that is by sharing your expertise, your information, your knowledge online. So you share that knowledge and then you influence others. And the perfect place to do that would be on a website. Reason number six, speed to market. So years ago you had a new product idea and it would take you weeks or months to get that information out there to your existing clients, to new clients, to anyone. So how quick we can turn ideas into action now on a website, it's instantaneous. Let's say you come up with a new idea, perhaps you're a coach and you decide you want to do group coaching, and you just go into the back end of your website and you just switch that up. It can take you seconds. Number seven, you have a virtual storefront when you have a website. So we can earn passive income or active income on our website. Why wouldn't you want to have that? Your website is a store. It can sell your products, your services online, your information, whatever it is you have to sell, you can sell online. Number eight, your competitors are online. If they're there and you're not, your business will die. It's just a matter of time. In fact, 50% of people under the age of 30 search on YouTube first. Universities are not giving out email addresses anymore. Students are using social media platforms and university platforms. And you have to ask yourself, where is my business going to be in 5 years? And who will be my target market? And where do they live? Where are they looking? Where can I reach them? Reason number 9, measurable results. So before I used to put an ad in the newspaper, and how did you find out if people were actually seeing that ad? Well, you had to actually ask them. Today, you put an ad on your website, a new offer, a new promotion, you write a new blog post, whatever it is, you go to your back end and you look at your stats, and right away you can see if it's working. It's immediate. You can see where your clients are coming from, how many visitors are coming, and what search engines they're using. It's incredible. Reason number 10 to have a website. You are in business. Print media is dying and business cards are going to be gone or just have QR codes with them, on them. So really, if you have a business today, you need a website. Point final. So now you know that if you're in business, you need a website. You also need to know the 3 worst mistakes people make when they're building a website, because it's terrible to do that. Reason number 1, people create a boring, generic, unappealing, useless site that doesn't engage your target audience. Reason number 2, people create a website that doesn't convert traffic into clients, and it ends up costing you money instead of making you money. And the 3rd mistake that most people make is that they create a website without any potential. They don't build something that's expandable. They don't build, something that has a foundation that can grow, that's SEO friendly, and many other tips. So you know you need a site and you know what to avoid. Now let's get to the juicy point at last. In the next 30 minutes, I'm going to show you how to build a website that converts web traffic into clients. Ready? Whether you want to take a stab at it yourself, at building your website yourself, or whether or not you need help, I'm going to point out the top 10 most important aspects for building your site. The more of these points you integrate into your own site, the more successful you'll be at capturing new leads and new clients. So, when someone gets onto your site, if they're not woken up, they're not going to convert into a client. So you need to make sure that people are alert and engaged when they find your site. Tip number 1, design a site and brand that you love. Your site should represent you and your passion. When people are on your site, they should feel you. They should get a sense of who you are. If your approach is lively and bubbly, your site should match that. You know, you should love your site, because if you love your site, chances are it's more you and it's going to be authentic. And by creating an authentic site, your brand and your identity will match. So what is brand identity? Brand identity is all of the things that go into making you up who you... Time out. If your approach is lively and bubbly, your site needs to be the same. If your approach is serious and professional, that's how your site should be too. All of this ties into your brand identity. The site has to match your brand identity. And generally speaking, the closer that matches who you are as a person, the closer it will feel right. So I just want to take a second to explain what brand identity is. Brand identity, it's your logo, it's your tag word, it's your lingo, it's your fonts, it's your colors, it's your images. It's everything that helps people identify who you are. And it should be as cohesive as possible. All of these components need to sync, okay? It needs to sync on your business cards, on your brochures, on your postcards, on your social media platforms. Everything that you use, it has to sync. More on that later. So cohesive brand identity example, Rebecca Mitchell Boutique. Take a look at this. So Rebecca is a very contemporary person. She's trendy, she's hip, she's clear, she dresses in bright colors, and you get a sense of that right away. She's direct, you know, and she's got fresh ideas. So her site is clear and direct. It evokes contemporary, just like she is and like the work she does. Here's a second brand identity example, Myra Giberovich. Myra Giberovich, she is a genocidal trauma recovery specialist. Yeah, that's a heavy word, and what she does is pretty heavy. So, and Myra actually herself is a Holocaust survivor. So she herself is serious in her approach. So if you take a look at her site, there's a site that shows somber colors, sepias, and earth tones, and that makes sense. So her brand matches her and matches who she's speaking to. When you build a site that is authentic, you get people's trust. The more the site feels like you, the more authentic it is for the user experience. There is an interconnectedness in terms of who we are and what we do, and your site should show that. So chances are, if you love your site, it's you. The colors, the mood, the look, the feel, the brand identity, and it makes for an authentic user experience. Tip number 2, communicate quickly and clearly. Is your marketing message concise? Is it clear? Because believe it or not, you have 3 seconds to engage people. Do you pass the 3-second test? Does your website pass the 3-second test? Here's a test for you. Because I'm going to give you a test in a second. Because if your site doesn't pass the 3-second test, if you're not striking, you strike out. So how can you be striking? Well, here's one way. You can give people eye candy. See, you knew the second you looked at that picture that it's eye candy. That's the idea that we're trying to communicate. So you communicate using visuals, using video, using illustrations and icons. And here's a perfect example. In 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, you knew what Wanda Malfara does, didn't you? She's a portrait photographer, and you can see that within the 3 seconds. That's the test. That's where you want to be. Here's another example, another way that we can help engage people. So depends on the formatting you use. So here's a site, it's called Theraplants, and you can see that there's tabs at the bottom. There isn't too much text. There's a nice fresh layout. It's very easy to see where to look and where to be guided. So formatting is a really important technique in terms of creating a clean and concise site. Tip number 3, create captivating and compelling content. Okay, so your content needs to be gripping, it needs to be targeted, and it needs to be fresh. You have to remember that it's quality, not quantity of the content. Ultimately, good content gets read. Bad content gets clicked off of. So here's an example of really, there's just too much content here, so no one's going to read it. It's good that it's in 3 columns, but no one's going to read it because there's just too much content. And here's another example of way too much content. You have no idea where to look. Here's an example of compelling content. It's not a website, but it gives you an idea. Has anyone read 50 Shades of Grey? If you haven't, well, you've definitely heard about it. And that's because it was so gripping. And that's what you want to offer your reader. It needs to be targeted. You want to think about who are you talking to? What do they want to know? How do they want to feel? It needs to be active. It needs to be engaging. There's a perfect example. Go to YouTube and type in First Kiss. Here's a video where a bunch of strangers come into a room having not known one another and they start to kiss, okay? So in the first 2 days, it hit 10,000 views. Within 2 months, it had over 80 million views. Why? Because it was engaging. Now, I'm not saying to put strangers kissing on your website, but you want to think about being engaging. In the end, that video was an ad for a clothing company. But that's not what people saw. You have to try to achieve compelling content. And I suggest you also see I suggest you also see the Stepping Up Skills video, how to create captivating copy. You can try doing this yourself. You can try to create captivating copy yourself, or you might want to hire a copywriter to do that. Tip number 4, you want to be responsive on all devices. We know that people are looking on their devices in every location, but people are looking on the iPhone, well, not only iPhones, all smartphones, all tablets, desktops, laptops, all over the place, and soon to be on watches coming up soon. So I would say you want to make sure that your content is responsive. Okay? 50% of search today happens on mobile devices. Your content has to shift to suit the screen size. You don't want to have to be scrolling down on your phone and over like that. If you had to do that, what would you do? You'd click off of somebody's site, right? So content has to shift like water. Think of water going into a glass. Then you take that water and you put it into a teapot. Then you take it out of the teapot and you put it into the bottle. So the water changes and it engages in the platform that it is in. You need to do the same thing with your website. And just to tell you why, okay, by 2020, 50% of all purchases will happen on mobile devices. All online purchases will happen on mobile devices. Tip number 4, be responsive on all devices. Keep traffic on your site. Don't let clients click off of your site and be frustrated. Plus, Google favors mobile responsive sites because it helps them. Tip number 5, you want to offer clear navigation and give the client stepping stones on where you want them to go. They found your site, they stayed on it for longer than 3 seconds, they got engaged. Now you need to tell them where to go. There's 2 approaches here in terms of doing this. One is the Google approach, which is clear and sparse. Example, montrealmom.com. You see, you get to the page and you see the kangaroos. Oh, you clearly know to click on one of those kangaroos. Or the second approach would be to offer multiple navigation routes. So you have your main navigation tab at the top that people are used to with the different tabs people can click on. Or you have a series of boxes, usually visuals, because that engages people more. So there's a big debate in terms of scrolling versus clicking and what is better. And really what's better depends on who your clients are and what type of site you have and what type of products and services you offer. So the benefits of scrolling is that there's no clicking, there's no page load, and there's an uninterrupted flow. Market research is in fact showing that people prefer scrolling sites. Clicking, what are the benefits of clicking? You can have analytic tracking on every page because every page is indexed. This is something that's really good for larger sites or for people who are offering multiple signups. You just want to keep in mind that every time people have to click, you lose 30% of people. So if you can avoid a lot of clicks, that's better. That's a better situation. You want to put your best foot forward. What is at the bottom of your page, also known as your footer? This is prime real estate for information that you want to be on every page. So some people put up their signups there. Some people will put up their feeds, their social media feeds. But this is information that you want across the board. You don't want anyone to miss. So here's an example, an HR company that uses a lot of social media. So look what they opted to. They used one page as a Facebook feed, another one as a Twitter feed, another one to show their social media and where you can find them, and they put a video to engage people, an introductory, funny, light video. So this was really appropriate for who they are and for their client base. Tip number 6. You want to build active or passive income, right? So how do you do that? You do that with e-commerce. So what are you selling? And don't tell me you're not selling anything because every website is selling something. Okay, so first e-commerce, how are you going to sell it? So there's a couple of ways of doing that. Number 1, you can do PayPal integration. And there are alternates to PayPal today. Of course, AlertPay, some people use Shopify that has an integrated payment plan. There's lots of options there. There's also, you can go the route of having a full e-commerce integration system where you use something like Moneris or Paymentech or any verified bank payment gateway. So you need an SSL certification for this though, so don't forget that. So here's an example of a website using e-commerce, and in fact, this site used an Etsy plugin. Etsy is an online platform for people making art. Everything is handmade, and so here's a really inexpensive way of integrating an e-commerce solution. Another type of thing that people sell are programs or packages. So you may be a coach and you may offer programs on Skype. So you might want to, instead of just having people pay each time, or even if you have people coming to your office on a weekly basis, you can get them to pay upfront online and save that time during your session with them and not have money enter into that arena. Some people offer classes and can sell classes off of their website, or workshops, something like Startup Steps. Another thing that people sell online is advertising or influence. So this is very common the case with bloggers who are sometimes engaged by companies to write product reviews. So companies approach individuals to be ambassadors, and they will write a blog piece or they'll give them some space on their site to advertise. So a great example is Ask Mama Mo here. And so here's an example. She was hired by Ford to go to the Detroit Car Show. She went to the Detroit Car Show, stood next to the new Ford S150 and posted on Facebook, "Just met my husband's new girlfriend." So that post went absolutely viral and they were really, really happy. So I guess the question is, who can you be an ambassador for and make money? So are there any companies or products that you could support, that you could write about? Another way to earn money online is through being an affiliate. So visitors are on your site already and you can offer other links. So for instance, I do web design. So perhaps on my site, I might be an affiliate for some hosting companies, because people might click on the hosting companies off of my site and I would get X amount of cents per click that somebody went to, let's say, GoDaddy. So you receive a referral fee for this. So there's a lot of affiliates actually. So imagine you're a clothing style consultant. You might want to be an affiliate for French Connection or Hurley or Bench. There's a great website called Share a Sale, and they are an affiliate conglomerate. So I'm giving you that tip. The one thing you do need is you do need visitors to your site, otherwise it doesn't really reap enough rewards. So if you're a decorator, you might go to Whirlpool or Lumens and Lighting. You might go to Joss and Main. If you're a blogger or a writer or a coach, you might want to be an affiliate for Amazon or Osborne Books. E-commerce. So just so we're clear, online book sales are going to surpass print sales by 2017. So I highly recommend, here's another way to make money on your site, writing an ebook. And then that way you can double dip, because you can be an Amazon affiliate and you could also be selling your own book on your website. So writing an ebook positions you as an expert. You can sell it on your site. You can work with a copywriter if you feel like you want some support or some editing. And it builds passive income because it can sell while you're sitting at the beach or sleeping. And you can have a link to Amazon, like I said. Tip number 9, do organic SEO. So what is SEO? SEO is search engine optimization. So that means if somebody is looking for a clothing stylist in London and they type up personal stylist London, are you being found? You can build your site, but you also have to be found. Excuse me. Sorry, Adam, I have a cold, so it's a little bit tough. You've built your site, but are you being found? There's three main components to SEO. One is keyword and keyword density. So these are the words and tags and photos. You want to tag your photos, you want to tag all your pages, you want to make sure you've got your keywords in your blogs. Two is backlinks. So let's say you're on someone else's blog and you're a naturopath and sorry. Backlinks. This is leaving your URL or comment or post on another site, and you make a connection from that site to your site. So let's say you're a naturopath and you're reading someone else's site about I'm going back again, sorry Adam. Number two, backlinks. This is leaving comments with your URL on other sites. Every time you leave your name and your company name and your website on another site or profile, you are creating a backlink to your site. So and the more it can get shared, you want to share, you don't want to like. So for instance, if you're on Facebook, you want to share somebody else's post and add to it and add your information. You don't want to just like it. It has much greater exposure. When you retweet, you want to add value. When you comment, you want to leave your URL. Then there's also on-site and off-site optimization. So this is coding and tags, usability. There's also paid versus unpaid SEO. It's a little bit heavy, but just to give you an idea, when you do your on-page SEO, it's about when you do your on-page SEO, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of off-site SEO off-page SEO that has to do this. It takes time to do this. So, and here's something to consider. Paid SEO versus organic SEO. Only 20% of people actually click on paid ads. So for entrepreneurs and small businesses, I highly recommend doing organic SEO. Also, it can be quite costly to do paid SEO work. So here's an SEO tip. I'm going to give you a couple of quick tips. Find blogs where there's lots of shares, okay, in your area of expertise. So here's a good example. We have in Montreal a local radio show called The Right Chemistry with this doctor, chemist, speaker, Dr. Joe Schwartz. Okay, he posts all of this on his blog. So he wrote an article on how toothpaste and sunscreen chemicals interfere with sperm function. Imagine you're a naturopath, right? So it would make perfect sense for you to comment on this and leave suggestions about natural sunscreens and toothpaste. And because it makes sense, it would be a credible comment and they would likely accept your comment. So you're a credible source. So that would create a backlink to your website. Another way to do this, another tip, is to add your profile on different directories. So example, if you're, let's say, a hypnotist or a therapist, so Therapy Tribe, it's a great site. It's a free place to leave your profile. And there's lots of this, governments and nonprofits and social media platforms. There's many, many places to leave your profiles. There's always free places. Another thing, tag all of your images. So here's a great example, Gabriella Embaum. If you see the screen, you see how there's a bit of a pop-up over the men in a huddle like that? Well, that's because it says life coach for men. So wherever, and that's what she is, she's a life coach for men. And so wherever she can, she will tag that. Tip number 8. Okay, lead generation. You want to keep in touch with your clients and your potential clients. People are on your site. You want to turn them into a client. Now, that may not be possible, but one thing you can do, you can definitely turn them into a potential client. And the way that you do that is you get their information. You want to create a call to action, something that they may want so that you can communicate with them at a later date. Now that could be a free survey, free tips. You don't want it to just be sign up for my newsletter. Everybody's got a newsletter today. You want to give them something that's going to make them want to do that. Okay? So create a call to action. Here's a great example, and it will create a leads and communication system. So notice Canadian Coaching Academy here, and right away your eyes are drawn to the orange boxes. That's the call to action. So you want to be very clear, because your clients may not buy something today, but they may want to be kept aware of something, of your sales, of your suggestions, of your tips. They may be willing to receive your information. Look at BookBub over here. So, you know, I don't want to buy this book, but yeah, I want to know when you're having book sales. So I'm going to put my email address in there to receive notification of your sales. So you've captured their email and you've generated a lead list. That's great stuff. So now you want to use that with newsletters and blogs and promotions, and you want to keep in touch with them. Because out of sight is out of mind. They might not need you today, but you want to keep top of mind. And the way to do that would be with your newsletters, with blogs, with any information that you can give people. And try to do that in a consistent way. You don't have to do it monthly. You can do it, you know, if it's once a year or it's around the holidays, whatever it is, just try to be consistent. So vertical response, constant contact. I'm talking about the smaller email marketing campaigns. There's Infusionsoft, there's Aweber, there are tons of email campaign systems, email platforms, marketing platforms. So here's an example, Points of View Pro, of a newsletter, and you can see, if you actually look back to his website, how well he integrated his brand identity on the newsletter, on his business cards, on his brochures, on his website, on his Facebook page. It's all integrated. Tip number 9, build community and great client relations through social media. There are 10 billion, kajillion, trillion, million, willion people on social media, and you need to be there too. Now, it may seem overwhelming. There's just so many to choose from, but keep in mind, 93% of marketers use social media for business. Okay, that's an important statistic. There are so many. Just choose what's right for you. Choose what matches your brand personality, what matches who you are. And it's hard to decide which one is right to you, but here's a quick snapshot. Twitter, it's super quick, okay? It's limited to 140 characters. Twitter is super quick. It's limited to 140 characters, and it's a fairly young crowd there. Pinterest. It's image-based. It's great for retail, for product. It's great for quotes. It's very visual, and visuals work best. There's a lot of women on Pinterest, 35 plus. LinkedIn, it's more corporate-based. It's more professional-based. Almost everyone should be on LinkedIn in addition to whatever they do. Google Plus, which is mostly it's mostly younger crowd and a bit of male focused, older men. You're trying to build community and you want to be consistent with your blog, your newsletter, your social media. Okay, so last tip, number 10, analyze your stats. Don't just take them, analyze your stats. So you've built this website, people are coming on it. You want to see what they're reading, which blog posts they're reading. When they sign up for your newsletter, are they coming to the pages in your newsletter? You're going to highlight certain products or services that you offer, and you're actually see if people go back to your site. So you're going to look at your reporting. Okay? You want to see what percentage of people are clicking off of your site, what percentage of people are signing up for your newsletter, they're reading your newsletter, how many people are calling you. Okay, you can see what countries are visiting, and you can give them compelling content with the statistics. So for instance, if you start to notice, oh, look at these blog posts, or look at this page, there's something on this page that I'm writing, or information that is really engaging people. So you learn to write more of that. So that's it. After watching this video, you've learned the reasons why you must have a website. You've learned what happens if you don't have a website, the 3 most common mistakes that people make when building a website, and the 10 ingredients that you need to build traffic and convert that traffic into clients. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for a while, the thought of designing a website can feel overwhelming. Sure, you know what should go into it, but doing it and making it look good and professional, that's another matter altogether. Like many other soul and heart-centered entrepreneurs concerned with money when you're just starting out. Sorry, Adam, back. Whether you're just starting out or you've been in business for a while, the thought of designing your website can feel a little overwhelming. Sure, you know what you're doing and you know what should be in there, but actually doing it and doing all of the work and making it look professional, that's another matter altogether. Like many other heart and soul-centered entrepreneurs, most of us are concerned with money when they're just starting out. So thanks for watching the video, and as a thank you, we're going to offer a free 30-minute Start Out Step users session to discuss your website and marketing needs. All you got to do is click here. Thanks so much for listening in. We'd love to hear from you with any questions or comments you have. Don't forget, wake up your website now.